In this presentation, we will enter business and personal cash outflows from our bank statement into QuickBooks for the second month of operations, the month of February. Outflows including credit card payments, college costs, and phone costs. For more accounting information and accounting courses, visit our website at accountinginstruction.info. Here we are in the home page. We currently have the open windows open. We can open the open windows by going to the view drop down and selecting the open windows list. We are now going to open the check register by selecting the banking drop down, going to the used register. We want the checking account. That's the one. We have been entering data for the month of February, second month of operations from the bank statement. It looks like this. This is where we have gotten so far. We're currently now on the credit card. The next item we will be entering, credit card being a little bit tricky because the credit card will have to do with a partial payment. We're not paying off the entire credit card. Few different options we can use to enter the credit card. Before we do so, however, note that we will be entering data directly into the check register here. We won't be using the splits item in order to assign the classes, but rather enter everything without class, using the accounts to help us sort between business and professional, or business and personal. And then we'll go to the reports and sort them out by class from there, as we've been doing thus far. And that's how we'll continue to go. So here we go. We've got the credit card. This is going to be the payment that was taken out of the credit card. It doesn't represent all of the charges, and we'll have to consider how to enter that information into the system. So, and this one we actually do need to use splits, even though we're not using classes, but we'll go back over here. So this is going to be happening on 02/15/20. So 02/15/20. This is going to be an electronic, and we're going to just call it credit card. And that's the card number we have. If it was a Visa, of course, or something like that, we'd have more detail to it. We're going to put the amount of the 150. And you'll note what happened here. It tried to memorize the credit card from the prior transaction. And it didn't put the amounts here, but it memorized all the accounts. And this could actually be kind of distracting because we may have different types of accounts that are affected. So oftentimes you actually have to go through here and just delete all these accounts and say, I'd rather start over from scratch. I'm just going to delete, and it's hard to delete because there's sub accounts too. Sometimes they'll work, but obviously the credit card will have different balances in it. So I'm just going to go through here and say, okay, we're going to start over with the 150. Now, we could the simplest way to enter the credit card is just to enter a credit card expense. Just say credit card expense and enter it. I'd have to set up a new account in that format, but that doesn't give us a lot of detail. What we'd rather have is who we paid, the detail of the credit card statement. To do that, we would need to enter the credit card statement. We're going to use kind of the middle method here. We might talk about it a little bit more on the more inclusive method to enter the credit card. This method here, we're going to say that here's the beginning balance. That's what was still owed at the end of last month. We could check that by going to the reports. So if I go back over here, reports drop down, company and financial, take a look at the balance sheet. And we want to see as of, well, it doesn't matter, 12/31/20, because we haven't done anything to it yet. There's the credit card, 285. That's our beginning balance. Now, before we get too much further, just note that we probably should, the credit card dates, this should probably be the end of January that we're paying now in February. We here are paying it in the month that the credit card statement is happening. So just, bear with us with that minor detail. So this is the beginning balance of the last credit card that we had paid off. And then we have the additions being Ralph's, Chevron, Starbucks to give us the new balance of 710. But we only paid 150 of it. So we want to enter all the detail even though we haven't paid it. The only thing that cleared the bank, of course, is the actual payment. How do we do that then? We use the splits items. So we're going to go back to the checking account and we're going to use the splits to enter Ralph's was the first one. So we're going to enter, that's just going to be groceries. So I'm just going to type in groceries and it'll memorize that account. That was for 350. And we could assign the class while we're here, but I'm going to use the same method and go back and assign the classes later just to stick with the method, we're going to be working with all the other accounts. And then the next one's going to be Chevron. So that's going to be Chevron, which is just gas. I put it under auto, I believe. Auto and then gas under the personal account. And that's going to be for 55. Then the next item we're going to have is $20 for Starbucks. So $20 for Starbucks. So we're going to say that was a coffee shop we set up. An account just for coffee. So there it is. That was $20. And now if I hit tab, it usually gives us another account. Notice it didn't do it because it didn't give us the difference because we had to delete those other accounts. So notice if I tab over again, it'll then give us the number on the bottom, so it'll calculate for us automatically. But I'm gonna delete that. In essence, what we need here is something to be in balance, or it won't let us record this transaction. So what happened is we've got this 150 minus the charges, which, or let's do it this way. This probably make more sense. 350 plus 55 plus 70. That's what we charged. That's the 425 minus the 150 that we're paying. That's 275. So I need a credit of 275. So I'll put that up top, credit negative 275. If you're ever worried about it, just keep tabbing down till the computer does it for you and gives you what the difference is, what you need to reconcile. If you ever keep recording, it won't let me record, then you can do that. So then this is just going to go to the credit card liability account, credit card payable. So we'll enter that. That's the one. So we'll enter this information, and that'll be that. If we take a look at the balance sheet now, we'll note that we now have 560 in our credit card statement, and that should match what we would owe right now, which would be the 710 is what we owe minus the 150 that we paid. 560 is what we still owe. So that's the credit cards. A little bit tricky to do the credit cards. We are entering some accrual information. That's why it's a little bit tricky, as opposed to being on a complete cash basis as we've been doing for everything else as we enter stuff into the bank statement. So that's that one. We're going to go through the rest of them. Should be a little bit quicker here. So now we're going to go to Ease Childcare. We're going to go back to our checking account. Ease Childcare was on the 15th, and it's going to be an E for electronic transfer. We're just going to type in Ease Childcare for 125. Already assigning the account for us. We're not going to assign the class until we go back and do it from the report. So we'll enter that, done and done. Make that a yellow for having been done. Then we got the Sunlight Rentals. So we'll go back over, that's on the 16th. And we'll make that an E for an electronic, and we're going to type in just Sunlight Rentals, tab 1500. This is for the business. It's going to be picked up by the account because that account is what we've called a business account. So we're good there. Same as the prior month. We're going to go back and highlight that. Then we have Netflix, so that'll be a monthly cost. Very necessary cost here. All the essentials. So we got Netflix, and that's going to be $20. And once again, it's already assigned to the correct account. So done and done. We can see how much faster the second month of operations is than the first. So we'll enter that. And the cable company. Not sure we need both, but maybe they're just the phone cable. Maybe this is just for the internet as opposed to the Netflix. And we need that for the Netflix. So then have to have it. Gotta have it. So it's the cable company. And that's going to be 48. And the personal, it's going to where we want it to go. That one's done. Crossing it off. Then Verizon, that's going to be our personal telephone company. We do the personal with Verizon and the business for AT&T for some reason. Probably get a package deal if we put them all on the same plan. I'm sure they would like to talk to us about that. But then we're going to say this is Verizon. It's already set up. 83. The account's already set up for us, so that looks good. And then one more, the AT&T, that's going to be the business account. So we'll go back over, and that'll be on the 21st, and we're going to say E, and that's going to be AT&T, tab 370, telephone expense for the business. So much easier to enter. Again, of course, a lot of these are very similar given the way we've set this up, but it would be similar from month to month in any case. Now we're going to go back in and assign the classes by going to the report and going back from it. So we're going to go to the reports drop down, company and financial, take a look at the profit and loss by class. Changing the dates from, let's make it 02/01/20 to 02/29/20. And now we have this unclassified area again for all the stuff that's now unclassified for the stuff we just entered and didn't assign a class to it. Easy to assign the class because we know that all the personal stuff we put under this personal accounts. They're broken out, in other words, by both account and by class. So then everything up top, everything up here is going to have to go to business. So I can just say, okay, these two are business for sure. And I can change them without thinking too much about it, just knowing which accounts they're in, knowing that they're not in the personal account groups and therefore must be business. So we'll just double click on it. Double click on whatever's in there. Find the class, there it is, and type personal. I'm sorry, this is business. Business, and save and close. Trying not to think too much. And we'll say save and close. Close this back out. And then the next one is right here. So we'll double click on that. It's also business. Double click on the item. It's going to be in the classes. We'll make it business. That's the one. Close it up. Yes. Yes. Close. Done. All right. Now we're going to go down to the items down here. These are all personal. So I know they're all personal because they're under the personal subcategory. They're subcategories of the master thing, personal. So we'll double click on this, knowing they'll all be personal. Double click on the 55. And then, now this is a little bit tricky because note we have all the classes here. So I'll go through these because this is the credit card. And I can see that these are all personal. So I could see that by the fact that they're under, if I take a look at the subcategory, they're all personal. So we're good. I'm just going to make a personal. I have to do that for each one of them in order to categorize each one of them. Even this one, even though it's a balance sheet account. So then we'll save and close. And close that out. And then we're going to go to the cable. Double click on that. Double click on the item. Class, personal. That's the one. Save and close. Yes, yes. Okay. And then all of these are going to the personal side. Just like we would expect because they're into the personal subcategory. Then the 125, double clicking on it. The 125, class, personal. Save and close. Yes, yes, close, done. Next item, the 20, Netflix, double clicking on it. Double clicking on it, looking for the class, gonna make it P for personal, that's the one. Save and close. Yes, yes, close, done. Then the 83, personal telephone, double clicking on it. Double click on the item, class, personal, personal, save and close, save and, yes, yes, done, close, okay. And then the uncategorized goes away. We have now categorized. So you can see that might be an easier way to just do this. It also gives us a good sense of how we can make changes if there is a problem, if we forget to classify something that's fairly simple to see which class it should go to given the fact that we've grouped things by account and by class through business and personal. For more accounting information and accounting courses, visit our website at accountinginstruction.info.